All right, everybody, welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting, lightning round edition. We have class concluding today, the phase 1 stock course. Today is Wednesday, September 16th, though, for all of us here on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube. Welcome on back. I hope that you guys knew the date going into this meeting. So let's hop into it, guys. I want to make sure that everyone can hear me loud and clear to begin, but otherwise, like I said, we have class concluding and the market's making a nice pop right off the FOMC, right? So we ended up seeing the Fed meeting just finish up, and you could even see on my chart there on the bottom, the Dow breaking out nicely going into the Fed meeting. It kind of was, but then right away after the pop, the drop, and now breaking higher here. So certainly we'll look to kind of just go through everything, all of the side list stocks, and of course a stock like MYO here. You know, one of our students, Ken, just called this out before. Nice call. I mean, hey, it was breaking over 5, squeaked up, pulled back down. Got to be careful here. This was a stock that we rightfully so had on the morning list. So to go over this very briefly, we saw a big pop yesterday after hours. News came out, for a stock that was already kind of dumping off here, trending down still off that post-market run up. I would expect this to kind of pull back further, kind of consolidate, die off even more. Ended up kind of holding and then squeezing up a little bit, but then ultimately dying off. So, Ken called it right at a major level. Good call. For right now, I don't know if it's the right stock that we'll work with heading into the afternoon. This stock you could see also just on the daily chart, sans this day here, where it ended up making the intraday run. All these red candles, they're all opening up in pre-market much higher and then dumping right back down. This stock's a known pump and dump. I mean, this is the exact same thing as Kodak, KODK. Maybe actually not maybe as much even. Kodak is even more of a pump and dump type stock. Obviously, you could see here back from late July, the run up, but then back down. Look at how many red days there are versus green. And then even with that, look at all of the other red days that you happen to see where it gaps up in pre-market, dumps back down after the open. Same thing here today. Popped right out of the gate, Kodak. I know that a lot of us on TradeStation can't even trade this. That's why I was saying, guys, listen, stick to the list to begin. There are plenty of other stocks right from the morning watch list that Fausto took the time to go through and scan for us, including our star of the day, I&O. This thing is a machine. This thing is still going. We've been following this stock from the get-go, guys, right at 9:30. So when the market opened up, I mean, it really took off pretty fast. Don't get me wrong. I didn't jump in from 14.50 or 15-ish or so. We ended up seeing this pull back, and this is where I can kind of say I messed up because obviously it kept going up. I wouldn't have done this anyway, but in a very woulda, coulda, shoulda moment here, what I ended up doing on this trade this morning, I jumped in this trade at 14.73. That was my exact entry point on this trade. My rhyme and reason I can talk about in class perhaps, but ended up running up. I got out. It was right around 15 somewhere, like 15.20-ish, 15.10-ish. Obviously, I left a lot on the table there, and then this thing just kept going. Now, one thing I want to briefly mention on this I&O trade, which led us to see great continuation on the way up higher, which, it kind of took me by surprise at first, but, I was working with one of our students, John, in a coaching session, and we ended up seeing this print come up right here. It was at 1609. It was a 450,000 share transaction on time and sales. If I can move my line right to that price, 1609, I think you guys know it's coming here, but, it was right this big volume spike right here. It started to kind of die off, and you would figure, red volume bar here, probably going to be a sell print, probably going to see this tank right back down. Well, when this ends up re-breaking right over 1609 in particular, my line's not cooperating, but right here, the sweet spot. This leads to the next major move on this trade. Re-breaks over 1609, from there runs, and look at where it is now. So, the one thing on this trade, I was really expecting at this point to see I&O pull back down to that 1609. I was really hopeful for that because I would anticipate that to act as major support. Didn't really drop down that far, at least yet. Pushed right back up to the highs. It goes to show how strong that stock is. So, I&O we're going to easily put on our list, guys, right away. And then I would assume the same to be said Vxrt. I ended up jumping out of a Vxrt trade way too early just before 2. I ended up squeezing back up, right back up near the highs. And yeah, for right now, 750, a 32,000 share order on the ask at least. That's just from the NASDAQ alone, but probably a lot more behind that there too. All right, I feel like everything's up, right? Norman's now calling out Delta, or Delta Airlines, DAL high of the day. I mean, I guess not everything. Ken's saying GameStop, GME is sinking more. So, guys, what we'll do is go from top to bottom. Anything that looks great, we'll put it on our list. Otherwise, though, there's a lot that is moving, so we're not going to try and make a 30 stock list here. So, you guys will know my rant coming up at the end, but for right now, let's see what there is from top to bottom. Arrowhead, ARWR, familiar pharma stock. Big run up after the open, ended up running all the way up towards just about 53 and pulled back. Shortable, that piques my interest, but otherwise pretty expensive. Bit of a spread. For right now, we'll pass. Kodak, we kind of just talked about this before. Still up 38%, but yeah. MYO, same thing. We're going to pass on both of those. Those are like the pump and dump type stocks. INO already on our list. So we covered a lot of the top 5 already, I guess, but we'll keep going. PEIX stock from this morning, we ended up following. It wasn't on the morning list, but it is a familiar name. A lot of us inside our trading room are very familiar with this stock. You can see going back into late July, early August. I'll zoom out on the daily chart. Huge run up here. So it pulled back, volume died off. So we took our eyes off it for a little bit. I'm sure on this day, I'm sure we made a call out September 9th, popped up pretty nicely, but since we haven't really traded it as much until today. So, it's near the highs right now. I do like that. It's trading 53,000 shares, per minute in volume. So for right now, I'll kind of slap this on our list near the bottom. If we build up a much better list, the airlines, everything else looking really good, then we'll take that one actually off. But for right now, it looks pretty good. I mean, pushing up nicely, almost building like this pennant pattern here. So I would say wait to see where the next big break is as far as resistance. But I feel like it's kind of coiling up, waiting to make a new big move. All right, so GameStop, don't need to go too far for GameStops. I mean, sinking more from the highs, but man, this was a really nice run today. I didn't really catch much of this. So GameStop, I don't know if there was other news out on it from earlier last week, but we ended up seeing this make a nice pop, 740, kind of low volume. Nice pop from the volume there, but then it died off and then steadily moved up. So flew under the radar GameStop, pushed up nicely up towards 9. I feel like it's already made such a big move. I'm not going to expect it to make a second big move up, heading into the afternoon. Pulled back a little. If you can get the shares to short, that's the better play, I think. There we go, Ken. Something told me you're going to type something like that. Good short. I mean, rightfully so. Rightfully so. If you can get the shares to short that, it's a good short. SRNE, same thing. I don't think that we've been able to get the shares to short, right? But for as much as this moved up, I mean, you could say, though, that this is like in line with the other COVID vaccine stocks, the Vxrts out there, the Inovios. So it's hard to not put Sorrento, SRNE, on our list with that in mind. Yeah, I'll add it. So, so far we have PEIX, which is, again, kind of on the bottom, and then 3 COVID stocks. That's it. I'm surprised CODX is not up there just yet. Maybe that's kind of like the calm before the storm. HTBX not doing a whole lot. Fossil I saw near the highs the day before. At least, I guess, up until, this big shake. Wow. Before the big shake, I was seeing this near the highs. Nice recovery, though. So off that big volume spike, we ended up seeing this drop off quite a bit. Some huge prints filled exactly at $8.69, 61K print, 55K print, et cetera, et cetera. So, hey, where the level is on this trade, 869. Much like PEIX, don't mind putting this on for right now, kind of as filler. Maybe I'll snip this off at the end. Another familiar name, Party City. Near the highs. Looking strong in that sense. It is shortable if it craps out the other way. It's almost too slow. I want to follow something maybe with a little bit more oomph to it, a little bit more, volatility perhaps. Another COVID stock, another COVID vaccine stock, so to say, ALT. This was, even one of the sharper runs up compared to the others. The stock popped going back into the beginning of July from 10 all the way up towards 35 in a week's time. So for what it's worth, made a nice run up today. Lighter volume right now, so keep a smaller eye on it. For right now, we'll kind of look at the others. Kirkland, another familiar name, back up today. I feel like everything on the gainer side right now. Nice pop, pushing over 8, pretty choppy, but pushed higher up towards 847, near the highs. And again, just looking at this run, going back into, really like a 2-month span, late June all the way to the end of July, early August, dived off. All right, so yeah, again, Kirkland, right on our list here too. I like this one more than Fossil in terms of volatility, volume, etc. Another vaccine stock, I reckon. Nvax. Show a little love right now. We'll put Nvax just on the list. I personally wouldn't look to trade this myself, just given the price. I'd rather trade 1,000, 2,000 shares of Vxrt, but I'm just speaking for myself. For any of our students that tend to trade the more expensive stocks, I love the pattern on the chart. Right near the highs, looks like it's about to explode higher. Yeah. All right, so I'll put it on there for you folks that tend to, follow the more, again, look at the spread though. It's at least on a 5 to 8 cent spread. So, it's a level 5 stock as we would categorize it. As a new student, stay away. All right, so with all of that in mind, let's hop over to the losers list, guys. The market is rocking. If there's anything else that's looking really good, airline, cruise line, casino, we'll get to DraftKings, I'm sure. There's a lot left that we have to cut through, but if there's anything else that you would want me to highlight, just type it in the chat board. JNCE, what goes up? Right back down. We were talking about this yesterday, right? Hey, we were talking about it there, the fact that it's shortable. So it's at the lows right now, dropping off beautifully. 14,000 share order on the bid support. You'd like to see a big level like that, 925. Another one too, ADT. This one's, I guess, in a tighter range. It is kind of dropping off, but pretty slow. SUPV doing nothing really here. All right. I would reckon with the market pushing up, I'm not going to find as much, on the loser's end, but I feel like Nikola's kind of creeping around here somewhere. NKLA. I know it pushed up earlier after the open, but not really. No real familiar names. GGAL, Argentinian stock I know of. Not really doing much. All right, cool. I'll take it. Let's hop over to the side list stocks, guys. NKLA right now. Oh, it's only, yeah, so it's up 1.2%. So had a stronger push after the open. Just seems pretty flat. Tradable, don't get me wrong. For right now, I'll keep it off the main special list. Neo, near the highs of the day at least, dived off after the open, but, with a healthy market here, this could push up. Workhorse breaking all-time highs once again today. They're near the highs of the day today, so this one's going to jump right on the list. DraftKings, pretty similar. If Fausto is doing this meeting, I don't know if he'd be as likely to put this on our list, but I would say that because it's not breaking higher right now. If it's not breaking higher, there's only one other way the stock's going to go, and I think that could be a good short opportunity. So, I'll slip this on at the end. I like Workhorse more. I like the COVID stocks more, and that's really it. But if right now DraftKings, we'll keep a smaller eye on. And check out the airlines, the cruise lines, the casinos. Like AAL at the high of the day. Norman said it before too. Delta high of the day, pushing up nicely. So this is where I'd said, folks, we might have to make some adjustments on this list. Grant said the Fed meeting is over. Everything remains the same. Well, yep, you see that based on the direction from the market there. But with that, though, it's hard for me to not put certain stocks on, like just group the airlines together. Group the cruise line, like Air and Sea, all together. All of these look really tradable. We did very well on CCL, NCLH, CUK. Those stocks yesterday afternoon. And I know that was in relation to Carnival and the news that came out there, but yeah, otherwise, that's where I'd say before, stocks like PEIX jump back to, I guess, a double top. It's still kind of right near those highs. Fossil, I like kind of the least as well. This one will scratch off. Clear some room for some better looking stocks. I'll tell you, maybe just a make it not as much a distraction. Listen, if you trade Nvax and if you'd like to follow a more expensive stock, then go ahead. I mean, looks great on the chart. I'll scratch that off the main specialist because I'd rather, a lot of our newly enrolled students, any of our level 1 to 2 traders, focus on stocks that have a tighter spread, stocks that are moving up or down nicely. So, hey, the airlines and cruise lines are doing just that. Kirkland, near the highs. That's the reason I had that on the list. For right now, I guess I'll kind of keep it on. Pardon me. I guess I'll kind of keep it on there. All right, guys, if there's anything else, just let me know. I'm going to jump to YouTube right now, see if there's any other things from YouTube here. From RJF SRNE saying a huge iceberg order. Jump to it on the bid at $8. Yeah, great call from RJF on YouTube. Take a look at that, guys. For all of us inside the trading room here, a 310,000 share order is popping in and out there on the bottom of the TradeStation matrix on the right-hand side. It's kind of far away from the order right now, but 310,000 shares at least. Really good call. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, that's a good call, and I'll call this meeting. So we have class on the horizon, folks. I'm going to post the picks, tweet the picks out, and then from there we'll just jump in the class, get ready. But we have 2, 4, 6, 8. And it's kind of difficult because we have 8 specific stocks on our list, and then even aside from that, we have all of the airlines and the cruise lines collectively. So with that in mind, pretty big list, guys. You know what I'm going to say here. With a healthy market, there's a lot moving. Let's stick with this list to begin. It gives us a very good opportunity to try and catch a big move right away heading into the final hour of the close. And then from there, hey, if there's nothing from this list that meets your eye, that's up to par, that's moving well, around 3:10, 3:15 Eastern time, right around that time frame, we'll look to rescan the market a bit more seriously. I know that Fausto and Rich will be providing the commentary, making the call outs going into close for all of us inside the room here. All right, but with that in mind, most of us will be joining me in class. So again, phase 1, lesson 4 will be finishing up, or will be phase 1 will be finishing up today. Lesson 4 coming up at 3:05 p.m. Eastern time, folks. All right, I look forward to seeing you guys in there. For anybody tuning in on social media, as always, if you guys would like to learn more, just make sure that you guys like, subscribe, notify yourself right on our YouTube page, youtube.com/cybertradingu. Otherwise, feel more than free. Come on and join us. All right, guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.